Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk about the two new World Boss Ultimates, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And I was thinking of doing a guide on this. I was thinking of playing this beforehand and sort of figuring out the mechanics of the fight and then coming back to you guys and giving you a detailed breakdown. And I can still do that once we get to a bit of a higher stage, but as it stands right now, I think there's a more interesting way of approaching this. So, you know, for full clarity here, I haven't actually played either of these world bosses. I played a little bit of Scarlet Witch on the APK like a week ago, but I don't honestly remember very much of it. I remember that in the patch notes they said that there were new mechanics for these fights against Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, so I'm interested to see that. But I thought that, well, my thinking is basically like this. Most players are in one of two categories when it comes to World Boss Ultimate and the resources that they drop. There's players that are veterans like me, so on the one hand, you have players who are just grinding out black antimatter and chaos nornstones in addition to tier 3 materials, so for the most part, they're going to want to stick to one side of the map and clear these world bosses. Now, they might have some incentive now and then to play these missions because not only do they drop tier 3 materials and books and booty boxes and CCF, but they also drop X-Men materials, but that time is definitely not now. We did have an X-Men update a few weeks ago, a month ago, and we also, or longer than that, and we also did have Rogue introduced in this update with the uniform, but you just need Mcron shards for that as far as I'm concerned, I believe. You don't actually need to build up the character unless you get the character's potential, which then you could use, yeah, you need Mcron shards. But yeah, for the character's potential, you definitely do need tier 3 materials, but because most players have those capped, if they're not using them, it's not that big of a deal. And then on the other hand, you have players who, on the opposite end of the spectrum, haven't even unlocked these world bosses to begin with, or they're still in the process of unlocking these world bosses. Now, the one tip I will give you, if that's the case for you, don't worry about Apocalypse. I mean, you can do the challenges to unlock Apocalypse, but don't kill yourself or bend over backwards to do so. He's not a very good character. He's extremely expensive. And, you know, just getting close to being able to unlock him, but not actually doing it, or just getting to a 1-star Apocalypse is probably as good as you need to get. So what I thought to do instead, given that most players are either actively avoiding these world bosses because they need black antimatter and chaos nornstones, or they're playing the regular mode of these world bosses in order to unlock these 3 characters, I thought I would give you guys my first reaction to these world bosses using absolutely garbage teams. So, you know, I could go into stage 1 right now with my ginormous 2700 Valor, and I could completely dump on this with, you know, tier 3 Quicksilver, tier 3 Luna Snow, etc. Rather, we're going to do something fun. So we're going to go ahead and pick a garbage team, and we're going to see if I can actually get a kill using basically some of the worst characters in Marvel Future Fight. Now, there are some tips that I do have for you right off the bat when it comes to these characters, these opponents, so I do want to bring that to your attention ahead of time, so that you do have some strategy going into these fights, and you're not just completely blindsided by what's happening. So in terms of Scarlet Witch, the tip I'm going to give you guys is that we're going to use Victorious here. We'll use one good character. We want some max attack, or some all attack and some HP. Wow, you really should have just filtered. But we're not going to actually use Victorious, if you know what I'm saying. So for Scarlet Witch, you want to bring in, I think, a physical damage dealing character. We're not going to use strikers. You want to bring in a physical damage dealing character because, as far as I can remember from the old world boss, when it was just Scarlet Witch world boss, she has energy reflect. We're going to double check that now here, but I'm pretty sure she has energy reflect. So because she has energy reflect, like Cull Obsidian has, or I guess like Proxima has energy defense, you want to bring along characters that deal physical damage. Oh, they changed the damage bars to being they changed the HP. Now it does the multiplication rather than doing the anyways, in the APK it was just one long number. Okay, so you got chilling agents, you got stuff on the ground that you need to dodge, you've got a beam that she shoots around, you've got these circles that fly out. That's fine, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. She does a beam that you have to run around. It's easier. I mean, it's easier to run around the beam when you're next to her, so staying close to her does help. but then of course she'll do that, so you'll have to run away from her. So I can see right off the bat that she has a lot of mechanics that require you to run laterally towards her and away from her. So that is one thing to note. I also want to show, okay, we died. I also want to show that, yes, she does have, oh, she penetrates energy shield, physical shield. Okay, she has 100% penetration, but I'm pretty sure she also has energy reflect. So yeah, bring in physical damage dealing characters. On top of dealing physical damage dealing characters, yeah, you have to move in and out. You also have the clones there. On top of dealing physical damage, on top of you wanting to deal physical damage, you also want to generally bring in speed type characters. As you can see, my damage when I hit her is gray. The numbers are gray. The numbers are gray because she is reducing the damage that she takes by being a blast type. So having type enhancement, if you play Giant Boss Raid, for example, having type enhancements, yeah, that's gonna be one of your primary moves, is to be able to get close to her when that square beam attack is coming in and sort of boxing you in. And then on the other hand, when you are when she charges up right after that, you just have to get out of there. So destroy the shield to block the additional attacks. Okay. Gotta destroy that shield. Okay, we died. Now the part that I'm worried about, wow, she's taking so little damage from Victorious. Wow, Victorious is doing less damage than Amadeus Cho did? Really? I mean, I don't have a CTP on Victorious anymore, but she's level 70. Wow. That's crazy. Who would have thought that Amadeus Cho would last longer than Victorious? I'm blown away. I don't want to kill her by accident. She just knocked off my 4th skill. Another thing you can notice here is that there's the all defense down decrease is being ignored. So here she's got 10% guaranteed dodge, and she's also got crit damage increase. But the all defense down for Victorious does work against world bosses. It does have immunity, or it does have ignores immunity. Whoa, that's wow, really cool. I love the mechanics of the fight. Obviously, I made it harder for myself by trying to dodge things and by trying to look at all the mechanics rather than just going straight for the kill. It looks really hard when you play that way. I don't think it's actually that hard. But let's make it a little bit easier for ourselves, and we're gonna go back in one more time with the character that can actually heal. And this is actually the recommended way of playing these world bosses that I have for you. This makes it more fun. This creates you know, more of an exploration. This is kind of how I play a lot of those Dark Soul type games, where you come up against a boss and the boss is really hard. The boss has all these different mechanics, all these different hit patterns. Just play, keep dying, and you'll eventually learn what you need to do to survive. So yeah, just to recap, I'm pretty sure she has Energy Reflect. She definitely takes more damage from speed type characters because she's a blast type, and you can see my damage there is amazing now with Gwenpool. And anybody saying that Gwenpool deals more damage than Victorious most of the time would be completely wrong, but in this case, they're completely right. So playing Giant Boss Raid, getting type enhancement kits, using those type enhancement kits on speed type characters, any speed type character that deals physical damage. So yes, your beloved Spider-Man actually has a use for once. But you can see how fast I cleared this now that I'm being a little bit more aggressive and I'm using a speed type character. So let's try to break this shield and see what happens. So okay, so it does quite a bit of damage. Okay, I don't know if we broke it in time. I think we did actually break it in time. Okay, so we dodged those additional attacks. Does she do anything new? Okay, she silences you with those orbs, so you have to be careful and try to dodge them or just get silenced. Debuff might be a good thing to bring along, but it seems that she has debuff as well because she doesn't get afflicted by, yeah, you can see the all defense down doesn't work with, I'm assuming, any character, so it's pretty scary. So because you can't do all defense down, it's going to make, I mean, I'm assuming Deadpool is going to be great for low levels of Scarlet Witch because he heals and he deals physical damage and he's a speed type, but Deadpool won't work for higher levels. Takes cover at the center of the safe zone. Ooh, there's a really small, wow, that's really cool. I like that a lot. I had no, does it continue like that? Does it happen again? What are you doing to me, Scarlet? So yeah, Deadpool won't be good for high stages of Scarlet Witch, because she has debuff removal. She has like debuff ignore, basically. And so it's the same thing. It's the same reason why Deadpool struggles against high stages of Thanos, because Thanos has debuff removal once you get down to 11 bars. It seems that Scarlet Witch has debuff removal from beginning to end of the fight. So Quicksilver will be better than Deadpool because he's a speed type, physical damage, and he doesn't rely on all defense down, and so on and so forth. You can sort of just figure out if the character needs the all defense down to do damage or not. But this is a really, really cool fight. I don't think she has any other mechanics. Oh, wow, it deals so much damage. Wow, and then she drops the chilling agent right on top of you, eh? But look how much less damage Victorious is dealing compared to frickin' Gwenpool. Like, who would have thought Gwenpool would be doing more damage than Scarlet Witch? Or doing more damage to Scarlet Witch than Victorious? I'm blown away. Again, neither of them has a CTP. But, yeah, this is... Even Amadeus Cho seems to do more damage. I don't want to kill her, though. Yeah, even Cho does more damage because it's physical damage rather than energy damage. So, wow. That's really cool. That's really fun. Okay, I spent too long on Scarlet Witch. Let's go over to Quicksilver now and see what this fight entails. From what I understand of this fight, of course, because he's a speed-type character, you want to bring along combat-type characters and not blast-type characters. So, speed and combat for the two Maximoff twins here. And then, unlike Scarlet Witch, although she has 10% guaranteed dodge, we saw that buff being added, you need to bring a lot more ignore dodge for Quicksilver. You want at least, in my opinion, probably 50%. If it's like Corvus, thank you but no thank you. If it's like Corvus, you probably want 100% ignore dodge. So we're going to go in first with 100% ignore dodge for Bullseye. Bullseye gives the whole team 50% ignore dodge, and then his uniform, his Secret Wars uniform, gives him another 50%. So he'll have, excuse me, he'll have 100% ignore dodge. And then after that, we're going to bring along some of the best combat characters in the game. So here we go. We're in the sort of broken down laboratory where Quicksilver makes his ultimate stage home. He does little tornadoes here. Not the best damage, but he's going to do some different skills. He's going to take a lot of damage. Okay, he's also got the chilling agent like his sister, so that's new. Or not new. You can see that Bullseye does a ton of damage to him. So yeah, a lot of dodge here is good. He doesn't have any buffs right now if you look at the top of his bar. So that is something important to take into consideration. I want to see if he does any other attacks. He doesn't seem to do very many attacks at first, which makes him seem like the boss is easy, but he's not. He doesn't seem to have penetration. Okay, so he goes into his next phase at about 15, the bottom of 15 bars. Okay, he buffs up his HP with the shield. We cracked the shield, but he healed himself, and he goes right back in. So you definitely need to do enough damage to, okay, there's buffs there that I want to see what those buffs are. But I also want to, so he gives himself a 15 times 15% increased dodge. So he probably gives himself 75% dodge, crit rate buff, physical attack buff. That's pretty cool. The tornadoes follow a pattern, so you just have to figure the pattern out to dodge them. Okay, we see the ignore dodge pop up, so he's definitely trying to dodge us, but because we have 100% guaranteed, or 100% ignore dodge, we're pretty much guaranteed to hit him. Okay, the attack patterns are not that easy to follow. He kind of just hits you. So, oh, okay, he's like charging up. Okay, he does a little iframe here. This is kind of like Corvus's iframe when you get to his second phase, and he sort of just follows you around trying to poke you. He's lining up all of these tornadoes, but they just kind of spin in place, so you just have to not stand near them. Okay, he's charging up something. What is he doing here? What are you doing, bud? Okay, okay, he puts a bunch of tornadoes around you, sure. Okay, what happens if I switch to Blade now? So now you can see the ignore dodge is popping up a lot. I'm only at 50% dodge, so you have to consider that I'm going to miss a lot more attacks. You can see he's dodging some of my attacks, but he's also getting hit. Okay, we saw a little bit of penetration pop up as well. Okay, he's doing this again. So he just basically heals if you don't, if you don't, let's see how much he heals actually. He's at the bottom of 7, or he's at the top of 7. How much does he heal for? He didn't heal for anything there. Okay, weird champ. Are you gonna heal, bud? No heal? What is this? Physical attack increase, crit damage increase, crit rate. Okay, he just buffs himself up a ton. Okay, he gives himself double physical attack buffs. He gives himself dodge, crit damage, crit rate buffs. Oh wow, he's dodging everything. Look at that. At first, those discs were spinning and I wasn't doing any damage to him at all. Wow. So he doesn't seem to get penetration, which is a little bit easier than his sister because she does get penetration. But I think for him, you absolutely need to bring along characters that deal, or combat characters that have ignore or dodge. So he puts a big tornado in the middle. Let's see if energy damage does... Energy damage probably going to deal the same amount to him. It doesn't seem to be doing less. Yeah, that attack, I don't want to kill him here, but that attack seems to be doing... You know what? We're going to switch this over. Are there any combat types that deal energy damage besides Iron Fist? Let me just investigate this really quickly. I'm looking for someone who deals pretty much exclusively energy damage as a combat type. You know what? One of Sandman's abilities is energy damage, as well as Apocalypse, but Apocalypse might be too strong. So let's test out... We're gonna show you guys. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But if you go over to combat types, Sandman, so it's pretty strange. But one of Sandman's abilities, where is the sand? I am blind. Sandman. Here we go. One of the Sandman's abilities, Sandstorm, deals energy damage of physical attack. So we're gonna test out his 4th skill. We're gonna test out Sandman's 4th skill. We're not gonna bring along any ignore. Dodge, so we're just gonna see if being level 62 helps us out a little bit because we're above level 60. That should help out with the dodge a tiny bit. We're just gonna go in with a completely garbage team here and see if this helps us, and see if, like Scarlet Witch, he has he takes less damage from energy damage or less damage from physical. I don't think he will, but that's just my my guess. Okay, so he dodged some of that. We're gonna get some variance with the dodge, but it's doing decent damage. Let's see what his 4th skill does now. Seems like it's pretty good damage. Did it say physical? Oh, it said physical immunity on my character's portrait, not his. Okay, yeah. He seems to have some kind of guard break or some kind of stun as well. He's dodging it at times. He's dodging the tornado at times, but he's definitely not... Doesn't seem like he's taking less damage from the tornado. The dodge he has is pretty strong though, so you can see that bringing along characters with 0 dodge or 0 ignore dodge is probably not a good idea. You can luck out and get some cheeky hits in, but it's definitely going to be hard on you if you don't bring any ignore dodge whatsoever. He seems like he's dodging the 4th skill more. Is it possible that they coded in something that lets him dodge energy damage more than physical damage? That would be wild. I don't think so, but it seems like every time I do... You know what? Maybe he does. Maybe he does take less damage from energy attacks. Because every time I do 1, it hits pretty hard. But when I'm doing 4, it's... I mean, maybe it's lots of smaller hits, which means everything that's dodged, takes away more of the damage. But yeah, you can see like a couple of those hits, but then these attacks do way more damage. Like the 1st skill does way more. Well, maybe not. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it's really hard to see. It's a lot easier to see at higher stages of the fight. It's like higher levels. It's really hard to see at level 1 because I could just accidentally one-shot him with pretty much any character. So yeah, with that being said, let me know what you guys think of my first reaction and sort of the tips that I have for you about using combat type characters with ignore dodge here, and then using speed type characters that have physical damage rather than energy damage here against Scarlet Witch. Let me know what you guys think of the stage mechanics. I didn't see that one stage mechanic that they advertised in the patch notes where the room or the whole stage gets dark. So let me know if you guys know about that one. Thank you for the invitation. Let me know if you guys know about that stage mechanic and how do you counter that, or how does it work exactly. And if you guys want to see high-level content on this, I will definitely do my best to sort of speed my way up to something in the 40s or the 50s, and then bring that for you guys down the road in a couple of weeks. So hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hit the like if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.